Okay, so I'm back and I cut all the bags. So those are the bags. Something I picked up, and I believe it was from my sister's scrapper, is to always cut your bags when they're lying in the same direction. So don't cut the end off your bag, one bag this way and one bag's laying this way. Make sure that they're all either face down or face up. And also make sure that you have the same line against your staple bar so that it turns out more square, because if you flip it over, we all know the frustration of paper cutters that seem to promise some type of exact measurement and everything is just a little bit like that. Just a little bit like that. Makes me absolutely insane. I don't understand why they can't figure out how to make something square, but that is the lot we have in life. It's tough being a crafter. Okay, what you're going to need next is cardstock. Oh, there's another bag hiding. You'll need some cardstock to put on top. You'll need 12 pieces. We're going to have 6 double-sided pages, and they should match your bags. So if you're using the craft, I have a complaint about the craft bags or the craft cardstock. It's not really craft cardstock. It's brown. It's aggravating because it does not match the bag. You put black on black, it kind of blends together. You put craft bags under craft cardstock, and it doesn't matter whether you get it at Joann's or whether you get it at Michael's. It's brown. Why is it brown? Can't they make it craft? Okay, anyway, I'm done with that. I prefer Michael's Recollections cardstock over Joann's. It feels just a little bit sturdier. I know it says it has the same weight, but Joann's just seems a little bit more wiggly, and maybe it just depends on what you're using it for, whether that matters to you. It matters to me. I'm apparently a picky person. Anyway, all right. What you're going to do with these pieces of cardstock is you're going to cut them down to a size of 8 1/4 inches wide. So you're going to cut this way. It's going to go 8 1/4 this way and 9 3/8 this way. Okay? And I'll go do that and come right back. Alright, I've got my paper ready. What I wanted to go over is how to get your bags ready to make your pages. You'll notice on this side, the bottom of the bag, it has all sorts of stuff in here that you're going to run into. So you need to glue it together and keep it stable so that things don't get lost in there. And this is where your binding's going to go. Your tags are going to slide in this end. Okay? So, the bottom of the bag is the messiest, this side. So we're going to want to stabilize and glue this part. And we want to glue this closed and leave open the area that has nothing interrupting the flow, so that your binding is going to slide in there real nice and easy. You're not going to get hung up on stuff. With the first one I did, I worked with score tape, and that's a pain to try to get all the little papers off. So I'm going to try it with wet glue this time, and we'll see how that works. Turn it over the right way, and hopefully we won't glue it shut. I have been known to glue things shut that didn't need to be glued shut. This is my handy dandy keep the glue at the tip of the applicator holder. I think I make more things to play with my crafts than I actually do in crafts. Just kind of get that all glued together. The nice thing about the wet glue is when it's dry, it's dry. The tape is going to stay sticky, which is nice if you have something that might come loose, it'll re-adhere itself. But in this case, what that could do is when you're putting your binding in, you might run into that and separate it. I really like the Aleene's glue. I seem to be able to keep it open better than I can with the Scotch, but that might be because I use this to keep it at the tip. Okay, press that together, put it aside. So we're getting into fall now, September. We've got all of our wood stacked, which was a feat in and of itself. We had my husband has a manufacturing company, so he was quite busy with a little bit extra workload due to somebody being ill at work. And so I was helping with hauling the wood over from our field and getting it stacked. I did a bit of it on my own, and then my nephews came and helped and did an awesome job. Then my husband and I finished it up. But I really feel a lot better for having done all that hard work, which isn't my usual activity level. I was trying a low carb diet, which apparently I decided to do it on my own, and you should probably follow someone's instructions, because I went a little too low with the carbs, and that's not healthy, and you can have all kinds of side effects from doing that, which I did have. But there was a point to that. Doing all that extra lifting, though, really did help put my upper arms in better shape. I'm not quite strapless sleeve ready, but definitely better than I was. And it gave me a lot of energy, so now I'm really motivated to get fit. I swore I was going to do that this year, but it's just been one thing after another. It always happens. One thing after another keeps you from working out or exercising. So be careful if you get any glue on the edge that you wipe it off, and don't end up with your pocket glued together. Trying to get things situated for the holidays already, because it just seems that when they get here, I have 3 daughters, and we all have our idea of what we're going to do for the holiday, and it's not usually the same. So we kind of run into a bunch of bumping around there at the last minute, and you get expectations and disappointments in there, because we want to spend the holiday together, and then one person, mainly my husband, who is a hermit and is proud of it, he wants to stay home, and we're trying to sort all that out. Holidays can be tough. I don't know how. If I were better at guilt trips, they would not be as tough, but I'm apparently not very good at them, or I didn't raise my girls to be guilt-ridden in that way, to do what somebody else wants them to do just because they put a guilt trip on them to make them do it their way. So I guess that's a good thing. And my parents are out of state this year, so that's kind of hard. Miss seeing them, and you never know how much time you have to enjoy your relationships, and as you get older that becomes more obvious. You just become less clueless about it. So trying to get some projects finished up here around the house. before the winter hits. I want to do some more, put some more sealant on our basement floor. It's kind of smelly, so you want to be able to open a door and get some ventilation, because it seems like it might kill you, but apparently a spider can live through anything and enjoys doing so just to scare you. Okay, so in the middle of my gluing project, my memory card filled up. So I had finished gluing all of the bags, and this is what they look like. Nice clean pocket to put your binding into. Then what I did is I went ahead and started making up the pages. And I'll show you how I did that. All I did was lay my bags out. You have to kind of do it by eye. And make sure that your binding side is on the same side. And then look to see if you can just see a little bit of the bag all the way around your cardstock. And then adjust it to... If I had one of those measuring cutting mats, you could just lay it out on there and line it up with the lines, but it's under the table, so I just line this up, and when it looks like it will fit, I pull it back up, and I put score tape all around the outside and then down through the center to hold the bags together. So I'll just put that down. I've put off getting back to this video all morning because I had housework to do. It's Thursday, which is my husband's Friday. They just work 4-hour days. Business has been a little slow last few years. When the gas prices all went up, they went to a 4-day work week so that they could save their employees some money on driving back and forth to work, and that was kind of nice. We've stuck that way, and I really like it. Okay, then just place this over top, eyeball it, and press it down. Next side's much easier because they're already where they're supposed to be. I have a trash can over here. I'm not just throwing them on the floor. They just go to a magical place. That's where they go. Alright, and then just press them in. Okay, and I already did that with the other pages. So you just have to keep an eye out, make sure that you lay them out the right way so that you have the bindings on the same side as you're working to decorate your pages. Okay, so I have 6 double-sided pages. It does take a bit of paper, but it's good to use up your 12 by 12 stacks because sometimes the designs are just too big for a mini album. So these are the pages that I picked out, and what I did was I went in pairs and pick pages that would look nice across from each other. Every page in your book doesn't have to match. It just has to, when you turn the page, it has to look like they could go together. So I have those two. And these. These out. This is really a large pattern, and I haven't really worked with very many large patterns like that, but it went nice. It picked up the blue on this side. This is a little bit dull for me, but you can spice it up by putting something pretty on top of it. And these two. which I probably have extra, and I'm going to have to take a look at what I'm going to put on the inside and of the cover on the front and back. So I'm going to go and cut these to the right size to cover each of these pages, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut almost all of the paper. A lot of times you can just, make good use of your paper, trim it down the one side and across the bottom. But sometimes they try to age the paper so that it's all ready if you're doing a scrapbook. And if you can see here, let's see if I can get that up there. Okay. It's kind of brownish at the edge, and they do their own aging. Well, if you only have that on one side, I think it looks a little funny sometimes. This one I let go, it was just a very small spot, but some of them were significant, so I kind of chopped up the paper as it worked best. I like the paper even more now that I cut it. These two pages are going to go across from each other, but no matter how I measured it, I was going to either lose the bottom of the Eiffel Tower or this really pretty flower, which accents this flower. So I decided to leave it as it was, and I'll fussy cut the Eiffel Tower and the City of Lights banner and move that over on top. Oh, then there's the arch. Well, I think I'll sacrifice the arch for the Eiffel Tower because I'm thinking I'm not going to really like all of that moved over. It'll take up too much of my page. So I'll just fussy cut it. Which my husband gets a real kick out of the videos I watch, because usually in the evening I'm watching videos and crafting, and he's gaming on the computer that's right in front of my craft spot. So he listens to everybody as I'm doing it, and sometimes I forget that he's paying attention, but he is paying attention. We've gotten a kick out of some who do husband-wife videos, and he offered to do a video with me using his guy terminology instead of fussy cutting and cricket and crocodile and all those other things, which was kind of funny one evening. But anyway, anytime I say fussy cut, he thinks of Anna of Anna's Paper Creations, and she is one of his favorite crafters. He said he doesn't know her, but he is sure that she is probably one of the top 5 sweetest people on the face of the earth. So if you haven't watched any of Anna's videos, you'll want to do that. It's spelled A-N-N-E, but I think she's from Sweden or Norway, and so I guess it's pronounced just a little bit different there. And her work is beautiful. She does the most she is the queen of fussy cutting. She has patience and vision for what you can do with a piece of paper like nobody's business. Usually I cut this out of a big chunk and then I'm not wiggling the big piece of paper all around, but since I'm using the adjacent paper, that's not going to happen. I'm not the best fussy cutter in the universe either. I think I'm wearing out these little scissors. I'm going to grab that phone call and be right back.